Assalamu alaikum. We start our lecture of general science, lecture number 4. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the heredity, basis of heredity, genes, centromere, chromatids, meiosis, mitosis. Now we move towards the nucleotide, Watson and Crick model of DNA. Basically, we discuss about the first of all we discuss about the nucleotides. Nucleotides is basically a thousand of small unit of DNA molecule is made up of thousand of small units named that nucleotides. Nucleotides is made up of when we combine the thousand of small units of DNA molecule, then DNA molecules is formed called nucleotides. When DNA molecule is made up of thousand of small units named nucleotides. There are 4 types of nucleotides in DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. First type is adenine nucleotide. Adenine, the symbol of adenine is shown in bracket. Capital A. Adenine nucleotide. You know about the nucleotide. DNA molecule is made up of thousand of small units called nucleotide. Adenine Adenine is denoted by capital A. Adenine nucleotide. Nucleotide is basically a DNA molecule is made up of thousands of small units called nucleotide. Thymine. Thymine is denoted by capital T. Thymine nucleotide. Similarly, cytosine. Cytosine is denoted by capital C. Guanine. Guanine is denoted by G. Guanine nucleotide. There are basically 4 types of nucleotide in DNA. This model is proposed by Watson and Crick model. Watson and Crick. These both are the this model is discovered by Watson and Crick. There are 4 types of nucleotide in DNA: adenine nucleotide, thymine nucleotide, and cytosine nucleotide, and guanine nucleotide. Nucleotide basically a DNA of 1,000 small unit. DNA molecule is made up of 1,000 small unit. This is known as the nucleotide. As we discussed here, there are four types of nucleotide: adenine nucleotide, thymine nucleotide, cytosine nucleotide, and guanine nucleotide. In previous lecture, we discussed about the DNA. DNA stands for the deoxyribonucleic acid, and we also discussed about the gene centromere. Okay, and mitosis, meiosis. We discussed about the heredity. Heredity basically are transferred from parent to offspring. This is known as a heredity, and also discuss the basis of the heredity. Similarly, we discuss the cell division. There is a technical issue, and we discuss the types of nucleotide. Four types of nucleotide: adenine nucleotide, which is denoted by capital A; thymine nucleotide, which is denoted by capital T; cytosine nucleotide, which is denoted by capital C; and similarly guanine nucleotide, which is denoted by capital G. Basically, according to Watson and Crick model, DNA molecules are made up of two strands. These two strands are overlap with each other. Overlap means intersect each other, या cross band each other. Overlap means के one strand cross and other strand. The two strands of DNA link each other by cross band like a ladder. Here we see the DNA model. One DNA model is shown with a blue line, and the other DNA model is shown by the green, and these DNA are crossed with each other. This is the basically of this A shows that the adenine, and this G shows that the guanine, and T shows that the thymine, and this C indicates the cytosine. These are the basically of Watson and Crick model. These two strands are overlap with each other like a ladder. If you clearly see that this is basically like a ladder, and this model is proposed by the Watson and Crick. Now we discuss about the transmission of characteristics. One thing must be kept in your mind that the gametes are formed by the meiosis. Gametes basically sperms or eggs, and in the meiosis the number of chromosomes is reduced to the half in the gametes. As we discussed earlier in the meiosis, that the gametes are produced by the gametes are produced in meiosis, and the number of chromosomes is reduced to half in the gametes. In gametes we include the sperms or eggs. When number of chromosomes is reduced to half, haploids are formed. Haploid is denoted by small n in sperms, in which sperms or eggs are produced. So heredity material in DNA is also reduced in the half in the gamete. So zygote, when zygote is formed, when male and female organism mate, one haploid come from the haploid sperm or egg come from the male gamete, and one egg come from the female fuse. When they combine with each other, they form a diploid. One haploid sperm cell or come from the male gamete, which is denoted by N, and one haploid egg is formed from the female. When these combine together, they form a diploid. Diploid is denoted by 2N. 2N, that's why one haploid cell from the male and the one haploid egg from the female. So when these combine together, they form a zygote. So we discuss about the inheritable characteristics and non-inheritable characteristics. Heredity. First of all, we discuss about the heredity. What is heredity? Heredity is a transmission of characteristics. As we studied earlier in previous classes, Heredity is the transmission of characteristics from parents to the offspring. Such, first of all, we discuss the inheritable characteristics. Such characteristics that are transferred from parents to offspring. Parents mean one generation, and offspring mean next generation, one generation to another generation, are called inheritable characteristics. Basically, inheritable characteristics are controlled by genes. Genes are present in the DNA. DNA stands for the deoxyribonucleic acid. So, let's pause. Inheritable characteristics that are transferred. Let's suppose eye color. Eye color is transferred from the parents to the offspring. Similarly, skin color. Skin color is also transferred from parents to the offspring. Similarly, free or attached earlobe. Let's suppose if parents' earlobes are free, then offspring earlobes are also may be free. Similarly, if they are attached, then offspring earlobes are also attached. Similarly, height factor is one of the most important factor which is also transferred from parents to the offspring. Similarly, intelligence factor is also transferred from parents to the offspring. This is basically a inheritable characteristic. Inheritable characteristics that are transferred from one generation to another generation. Is it clear? Now we discuss about the non-inheritable characteristics. Non-inheritable characteristics or that characteristics that are not transferred from parents to their offspring. That are not transferred means these are called non-inheritable characteristics. Why these are not non-inheritable characteristics? Because these are not developed by the genes. The reason for the non-inheritable characteristics, the reason is that these are not developed by the gene. And example for these are not developed by gene. Example, if a parent organ is, let's suppose, lost or weakened due to some disease, this characteristics is not transferred to the offspring. Let's suppose if a parent has a disease of cancer, it may not be transferred in the offspring. Okay, these are called the non-inheritable characteristics. Now we again discuss the Watson and Crick model. First of all, you know about the nucleotides. Nucleotides, we discuss DNA molecule is made up of thousands of small units of nucleotides. Now we discuss about the how many types of nucleotides in DNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. There are basically four types of nucleotides: adenine nucleotides, thymine nucleotides, cytosine nucleotides, guanine nucleotides. Adenine nucleotides is denoted by capital A. Thymine nucleotides, thymine as word indicates the T. This is denoted by capital T. Similarly, cytosine is denoted by capital C, and guanine is denoted by capital G. And these are the four forms of the nucleotides. Now we discuss according to Watson and Crick models, DNA molecules are consist of two strands formed of nucleotides. The two strands of DNA are linked each other by crossband like a ladder. Let's suppose transmission of characteristics. This is clearly shown. And this is these one DNA is shown in the blue color and the other DNA is shown in the green color. When these DNA molecules consist of two strands, one strand is shown in the blue color and other is shown in the green color. These two strands of DNA are linked each other by a cross band like a ladder. Okay, ji. This AGTC is shown in figure. This A indicates the adenine nucleotide, and G stand for guanine nucleotide, and T stand for thymine nucleotide, and similarly C stand for cytosine nucleotide. Okay. Now, how the transmission of characteristics is transferred? Transmission means transferred. Let's suppose when an organism form a gamete, gametes are formed by meiosis process. As we discussed earlier, when an organism form a, as you know that in meiosis gametes are formed. Gametes are basically sperms or eggs, in which the number of chromosomes is reduced to half in the gametes. In sperms or eggs, haploid are formed. Haploid is denoted by small n, as you shown in the bracket. This is denoted by its mean heredity material is also reduced to half in the gametes. So, when zygote are formed, when male and female organism made the haploid sperm cell from male and haploid means half sperm cell from male and the half haploid egg from egg cell from female. When they fuse with each other, fuse means connect with each other to form a diploid. Diploid when N meets with N. N means sperm cell from male and second N means second N haploid means egg cell from female. Then when they fuse with each other to form a diploid cell called zygote. These are formed zygote. In this way, heredity material is stored in the zygote. The physical and functional unit of all the characteristics are transferred in zygote. Means all the characteristics. This is formed by and this is a pair form. Gene pair. One pair is from the male sperm cell, and the other is from the egg cell or female fuse. The zygote, after passing through various changes, develop into a full organism with specific characteristics from both parents. Zygote is the first cell from which the basically zygote is the first cell, which is the combination of the two cells haploid sperm cell from male and the haploid egg cell from the female fuse. This is known as when they combine together, they form a zygote. That's why we call the zygote is the first cell from which the life of organism starts. Now we discuss about the inheritable characteristics and non-inheritable characteristics. The characters such as eye color, skin color, hair color, free or attached earlobes, height, intelligence, are transmitted from parents to the offspring. Such characteristics that are transferred from one generation mean parents to the next generation offspring are called inheritable characteristics. Why these are transmitted from one generation to the next generation? Because these inheritable characteristics are controlled by the gene. Now we move towards the examples as we discussed earlier: eye color, skin color, free or attached earlobe, and height factor, intelligence. Now we come the next factor, non-inheritable characters. Such characters that are not transferred from parents to their offspring are called non-inheritable characteristics. Why they are not transferred from parents to their offspring? Because these are not and what's the reason behind that they are not transferred? One question arises in this in these lines, that why these are not transferred from parents to their offspring? Because they are not developed by genes. Okay, let's suppose if a body of a person is lost or weakened due to some disease. Let's suppose if our parents have a disease of typhoid, yeah, or cancer or anything some else, these are not transferred to the offspring. Why? The reason behind this, why these are not transferred in the offspring? Because one thing must be clearly kept in your mind, that the non-inheritable characteristics are not controlled by the gene. So let's suppose let we take the some example of the inheritable characteristics. First of all, the eye color. The color of eye in an organism is one thing must be kept in mind, that when the gene is controlled, the pair of gene is controlled, means zygote is controlled in the inheritable characteristics. Okay, in the eye color is controlled in the pair of gene. It is an inheritable characteristic. The gene controlled in the inheritable characteristics. That's why blue, green, hazel eye colors are developed due to the production of brown pigment in different amounts. Similarly, attached or detached earlobes. In some people, the earlobes are attached with the side of face. In some people, the earlobes are free from the face with the side of face. This characteristics is why these characteristics lies in the inheritable characters, because it is controlled by the gene. That's why we ask that the eye color and free or attached earlobes or intelligence factor. Intelligence factor is also depend upon the intelligence factor of offspring is also depend upon the factor of the parents. If the because these are the inheritable characteristics, because as we discussed earlier that the inheritable characteristics are controlled by the gene. When the gene works, if we discuss the example of the earlobe, in earlobe some people have free earlobes and some people have attached earlobe with the side of the face, because these characteristics are controlled by the gene. Once again, we briefly discuss the topic. First of all, we discuss about the Watson and Crick model of DNA. First, what is nucleotides? Nucleotides is basically a DNA. DNA. First of all, you know the abbreviation of DNA. DNA is the deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is the DNA. What is nucleotides? The basic. First of all, we know about the nucleotide. DNA molecule is made up of thousands of small units called nucleotides, in which there is thousands of small units are attached. This is known as the nucleotides. There are four types of nucleotides. Adenine nucleotide. Adenine, as the name indicates, this is start with a capital A. So we also denote adenine nucleotides with a capital A. Similarly, thymine nucleotide. Watson and Crick is basically the name of the scientist. Thymine is denoted by capital T. Similarly, cytosine is denoted by capital C, and guanine is denoted by capital G. Now, according to Watson and Crick model, DNA molecule consists of two strands formed of nucleotides. Two strands are formed in such a way that they link with each other, they cross-lap with each other, they overlap with each other, they intersect with each other like a ladder. As you all experience a ladder, this is shown as one DNA strand is shown in the green color and the other is shown in the blue color. These two strands overlap with each other like a ladder. And this AGTC, adenine, thymine, guanine, and C indicates cytosine. Transmission of characteristics. When an organism forms gametes by meiosis, as in meiosis gametes are formed. Gametes include sperms or eggs. In meiosis, the number of chromosomes is reduced to half in the gamete, and in mitosis, the number of chromosomes remains same. The difference, as we know earlier, the difference between the mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis, during mitosis, two daughter cells are formed from the parent cell, and in meiosis, four daughter cells are formed from the parent cell. In mitosis, the number of chromosomes in the daughter cell remains same as in the parent cell. And in meiosis, the number of chromosomes in the daughter cell is reduced to half as compared to the parent cell. So, mitosis occur in the general body cell, and the meiosis occur. Now we got to the point that the meiosis occur in the gametes. Gametes, sperms are and sperms and eggs. Now, when number of chromosomes is reduced to half in the gametes, haploid sperms or eggs are produced. Haploid is denoted in the bracket with small n. It means hereditary material is reduced half in the gamete. So how the question arises in our mind that how zygote is formed. When male and female organism mate, the haploid sperm cell from the male and the haploid egg cell from the female, when they fuse with each other, means connect with each other, intersect with each other, they form a diploid. Diploids mean 2n, called zygote. When an no transmission of characteristics, when an organism forms gametes, now zygote. Now we discuss the inheritable characters and non-inheritable characters. First of all, we discuss the inheritable characteristics. That characteristics which are transferred from parents to the offspring. Or second definition is that characteristics which are transmitted from uh, one generation to the next generation. One generation means parents generation, and the next generation means to the offspring generation, are called the inheritable characteristics. Inheritable characteristics are controlled by gene. So example of the inheritable characteristics are eye color, skin color, free or attached earlobes, height factor, and intelligence. Now we discuss the non-inheritable characteristics. Such are characteristics that are not transferred from parents to their offspring are called non-inheritable characteristics. These are not developed by genes. If let's suppose if a parent have some disease, any kind of disease, that is not necessary that it is transferred in the offspring. So it lies in the non-inheritable characteristics. Thank you, Ji. Any question related to the topic, discuss in the chat. Transmission of characteristics. No. First of all, you know about the haploid. Haploid is basically a gametes. Gametes is formed in the meiosis. Haploid is basically a sperms or a cell. This is basically a sperms or a cell. That's why we know name them a haploid. When when how zygote is formed? When a sperm cell from male and similarly egg cell from female, they fuse with each other or intersect with each other, they form a zygote. These, this is basically a topic of applied and applied topic of the transmission of characteristic. Applied, one thing must be kept in your mind. Haploid is basically a sperms or eggs, and similarly, how diploid is formed? Diploid is basically zygote. How zygote is formed? When the sperm cell from the male and the egg cell from the female they fuse together, they form a diploid. Yes, any question related to the topic discuss in the chat. Heritable, heredity, as we discussed is heredity. This is a question of the previous lecture that characteristics which are transferred from parents to the offspring, this is known as the heredity. Sperms or eggs are basically a gametes which is formed in the meiosis. Any question related to the topic discuss in the chat. We have only 6 minutes remaining. Zygote, I mitosis basically, as we discussed in the previous lecture, during mitosis, daughter cell are formed from the parent cell, and the number of chromosomes in the daughter cell remains same as in the parent cell, and the mitosis occur in the general body cell. This is basically a mitosis, and how zygote is formed. Zygote is found that the one applied sperm cell is from the male and the another applied egg cell is from the female. When they fuse together, they form a Any question related to the topic discussed in the chat? Yes, please discuss in the chat. Any question related to the topic discussed in the chat? Any question related to the topic discussed in the chat? Be quick, please. You have only 2 minutes remaining. You have only 1 minute remaining. Any question related to the topic discussed in the chat? Be quick, please. Okay, class, the meeting is over now.